Okay, you guys, let's do this. It's going to be so professional. Like, so professional. Here we go. Welcome to the Live Support Podcast with your hosts, Michele and June and June Colson, a couple of clean comedians who support each other and others through comedy's wacky and winding roads. I hope you're ready. Get set. Let's go. Since podcasts have a catchy tune, we wrote this song for Michele and June. Clean comedians are best friends too. Oh, it's so good. And you never know what they'll say or do. Here we go, sing with me on Live Support, with Michele, who's really short. We'll have a ball, with June, who's really tall. They have fun, interviewing comedians on Live Support, with Michele, who's really short. Now it's time to start Live Support.
The Live Support Podcast is brought to you by the Hot Breath Comedy Network.
Wow, here's all a round of applause. Welcome to the award-winning Live Support Podcast. I'm your host, June Bug Colson, here with my co-host and best friend, Michele with one L. Don't call me Shelly. Rhonda Corey, Corey's friend, Michele VanDusen.
Okay. I think it's getting a little old, but you just continue to get it longer and longer and longer. And it's like, hey, I'm here.
Well, it's good to see you, Michele. This is a big one. This is a big episode today. So this is our last episode of season number. They can't see your fingers, Michele. You got
4.
Okay. It's a podcast. I mean, some people watch us, but for our listeners, Michele was wiggling 4 of her fingers. So
yeah,
yes.
you had your hand up with your 4 fingers wiggling too. So they couldn't see mine because mine are so short compared to how big yours are.
Listen, I do have
I
have huge hands and I have finger toes.
Here, let's do this. Go ahead. Now hold them up.
Okay, hold your hand up. Let's see your little hand. Look how tiny it is. Do it again. Look how little. Okay, wait. Other way. Hold on. Like this. High five. Give me it. No.
Oh,
you wait. Come to me. There we go. High five. We did it.
Oh, good Lord. This is why it's our last episode.
This is why at a certain point, folks, we get delusional. We get a little delusional, and that's okay. That's okay. Because there's no one I want to be crazy with more than my craziest friend.
Oh, well, thank you, I think. Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to our break, our season of summer, because I'll get to see you. So in person. So you get to be crazy with the crazy.
You're not breaking up with me, are you, Michele?
No.
Okay. Because there will be a season 5. We have the game plan for season 5. There's going to be a lot of great guests, but this season has been so much fun. First of all, we last night, both of us, or this last week, we've both survived crazy weather. Michele, it's too much for me. Some of the Marcos that I get from you during storms, but it is full on entertaining. So the last Marco that you sent me in the middle of a tornado warning at your house, what were you wearing? Oh,
I wear a hard hat every time. And I always have my shoes on, the pants I want to wear if something unfortunate does happen and you find me somewhere, I want to make sure I'm wearing, the proper clothing. So, and I always have my wallet on me. I have my, anything that's important, keys, whatever I would need, I'm wearing, I've got on, and then a hard hat, because you don't know debris. If your house gets hit from a tornado and your ceiling goes or your roof is debris, it's the debris. So you got to protect your noggin. So
it's very fashionable. I think so last night we had severe weather that came through, and tornado touchdown in Springfield, Tennessee, which is not far from Nashville, not far at all from my brother's house. All day long, we were on alert. And I followed your fashion sense. And last night, I had shoes beside the bed, and I had a sweatshirt and things. If I had to just jump up and grab some stuff and go, because the house I'm in there's not a really super safe place. But my sister lives less than 2 minutes down the road, and she has a storm cellar. And so I have my clothing there. But I was thinking, like, what if, like, right? So if I die, I'm good. I'm in heaven. I'm with Jesus. I'll be fine. But I would like to leave people with a laugh. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, oh, what if I just put on a really weird outfit? Or like, what if I put really random things in my pockets? You know what I mean? So if they do find me, they're like,
good Lord.
so confused. She had balloons and she had, she had a comb shaped like an elephant. And she like, what happened? Did she start out this way? What would you put in your
Wow.
pockets?
Well, I have my keys, I have cash, I have my ID.
So you'll die practically. You'll just be practical when you die, but I'll be
Yes.
comical. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably the difference.
When they come to my house and see the things that I have, they're like, "Oh, yeah." Because like, how do you choose which Lego to bring with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's yeah. So maybe I'll have like a like sanitizer in my pocket, like the clean, you know, Rhonda Corey clean comedy sanitizer. I could do
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I could wear that.
100% clean comedy, 100% clean hands. I remember our friend
Yep.
doing that on her show. For sure, for sure. That was a prize that everybody wanted was the Rhonda Corey clean comedy hand sanitizer. That was such a smart thing to do during COVID and lockdown and all of that mess is
I think
the
we
prize was
probably
hand sanitizer.
yeah, I think we would probably have more listeners if we gave stuff away, besides our tips and our jokes. I think we should, maybe invest in something. But masks are out. Sanitizer, it's kind of coming back. Um, so what would we give away? I don't know. Let's think
I don't
about
know.
that.
I have a lot of stuff in my garage that could go, but people are going to have to pay the shipping for that. Like you can have it, you're just going to have to pay to have it shipped. But like I have a lot of random things. So maybe we'll do that next season. That'll be our giveaway for our
Okay.
listeners. I'll just give away like I have one brown flip flop, and I just hung on to it forever, thinking the other one will show
Wow.
up. Right? It's going to show
Wow.
up one day.
The
But
fact that you save souls is amazing to me. Kudos to you.
mush. Well, because the other shoe is missing, I have spent my whole life soul searching. So there's that. But we could have a one-legged listener that could benefit.
We got to start this show. Oh.
Okay. So let's recap a little bit. Let's recap. Michelle, get it together. Michelle, I'm going to need you to get serious here. Okay.
Just start.
Are you good? Okay. So let's recap. We had a great season. We've had some really amazing guests that have been on the show. Our friend Chester Go joined us this year, which was an awesome episode. We got to start the season out with Leslie Robb and Christy Condor and a missing suitcase. So that was really fun. Dory McLemore joined us and kind of gave us a heads up before we were going to film our dry bar specials. She gave us some, she had just filmed hers the season before. So she gave us some great information about that. And then we got to have Christy Condor come back on this season and talk about one of her clips at the point where it had 1 million views and just some accolades she was receiving from her dry bar. So that was awesome. We had a bug and a killer bee, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes, we did. A bug and a killer bee.
And you came, Michelle, pack and raid. That's what you did. You had insect repellent. I don't know that that's the best thing for our guest with packing and insect repellent. So we had killer bees, which was a really super informative episode.
Yes.
He gave it, if you're a comedian and you just are interested in insight and tips and writing and just what has given him a 30+ year career in comedy. That's a great episode to go back and listen to.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, one of our last episodes, your most recent guest was actor and director and author and coach, T.C.Stallings.
Very inspiring. That was really, really inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, there was just so many takeaways from that. That episode was a little over an hour long, but it could have been 2.5 hours long. And I mean, it would have been jam packed with valuable information. That whole hour was just nothing but gold. So I definitely recommend. And then what was so cool is that TC announced that I'll be in a future film that he has coming up, which is really awesome. Not sure when that's going to film, but sometime in the future. So that was great. And let's see, what else, Michelle? What else do we have going on?
Oh, we just had some random shows between you and I and all the other good things like that. But we did have, our show was filled with your tips and and I think you should share your tip when we get a little bit later on in this show. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
And
tip, yeah.
Yeah, and we had a lot of really good moments. You know what? Here's a good one. Knock knock.
No, Michelle, no, not yet.
No,
No, I'm not
no.
going to do it. No, I can't do it. Listen. We had a lot of great stuff, Michelle, but a lot of great stuff. Maybe not a lot of great jokes. We had a lot of jokes. We had a lot of jokes. But we survived an eclipse this season, right?
Oh yeah,
We had
you were
lots of
very
random
bright.
giraffe facts. There were
Yeah,
giraffe
yeah.
facts that I mean, the world can't thank you enough for that. So many silly jokes. We had so many supermodel poses in the very first episode of this season. There was an owl. Yeah, and there were just so many. We had so many Rhonda Colson Corey moments. We did.
Oh, knock knock. Knock knock. I want to get this show started. Knock knock.
Who's there?
This is
who?
This is a real Rhonda Corey moment. Let's welcome to our stage.
What?
Rhonda Corey!
Yay! Rhonda is showing us her clean comedy hand sanitizer. Those are collector's items now, right? Because you don't have them at your shows or anything anymore, do you?
No, they're expired, but so we don't know how sanitized you'll actually be. Yeah. So I was just trying to put my best foot forward. Sorry. I just wanted to join,
Okay.
She's in with the puns, Rhonda
right
Corey.
away.
We couldn't end the season without we've had so many Rhonda Corey moments. We know you, it's so weird, but you actually listen to our podcast, don't you?
I do listen. I love your podcast. It's so punny and fun. And you have some great guests. And so I enjoy listening to your podcast. I really do.
Do you get excited? Did you get excited when we added the Rhonda Corey moment on there? Do you listen for that?
And I count how many times my name is said. And I have like a whole poster, or you can't see it, but I do, and I tally it. Yeah, I have
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we found out, if you repeat Rhonda Corey, then a joke comes. And so it's very helpful for our writing process. So
yeah, Michelle does that before every episode. She has a little dance that she does. We say a prayer, and then she goes, Rhonda Corey, and then we start the episode. It's tradition. It really is. Here's what I love. We have listeners from now. I mean, we have them from all over the world. This year, we picked up people in Jamaica. Michelle, was it South Africa? We have listeners in South Africa now. And so it's been a while since you've been on our show. And I think it's really cool that those folks who've been hearing your name are now getting to hear you speak. Or if they're watching the episode, they get to see you, Rhonda.
How cool is that? That is so cool. I know. I'm very honored that I mentioned, and we have those moments. It's quite a thrill.
One of the things before you agreed to come on today, you said that you wanted tips on how to take care of hanging chin. So I was just going to show you what you do.
Michelle, is that painter's tape?
You have to, you take the tape, and then you got to just tape it up, right? See how that. See how good that looks? I mean, that looks amazing. Now, if you don't like painter's tape because everything's blue,
It is.
then what you could do, like, because you can also use gray tape, but mind you, this will actually pull off your hair too. So as we age, if you're getting
Okay,
any
for our
thin hairs,
listeners, I would just like to say that there's nothing about what Michele VanDusen is doing that we actually recommend to our listeners. We will not be held responsible if you choose to put duct tape, scotch tape, or painter's tape on your melon. Like this is not okay, Michele.
But here's the thing: if your outfit's not going to match the blue, then get the clear. So I mean, it's the same effect, just it's clear. So, see?
Rhonda, you're looking down. Are you taking notes?
Yes,
like that?
I'm writing this.
You're welcome. Anyway,
profusely. I am writing down all the different tapes.
So for our listeners who are not seeing, Michele had pulled out an entire roll of blue painter's tape and tape. Michele, you still have something hanging off your face.
Yes, I know. It's the clear tape.
It's the
see.
It's the variety. It's the variety.
See, I look 20 years younger.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And I'll be sure not to ever do that.
Well, it was a contractual obligation. I had to do it. So
yes, I appreciate that. Well, you guys have had quite a season with some amazing guests, and I am so excited that I can be on your final episode closing out the season. Does this mean you were desperate or nobody else answered the phone? What happened?
Yes, all those things.
Michele, I told you we always lie. We always lie to our guests.
I'm sorry. No, we planned it out this way, Rhonda, because we wanted to make sure that, because the previous seasons, we always had Joel Byers as, like our go-to guy to okay, boom, this is our season. And because he's the one that inspired us to start this podcast.
Yeah.
And so we're like, you know what? We need to make sure that we end on a high. We want to make sure that we end with a female this time. And we thought, who more than, the Rhonda Corey. And so we're having a real moment now with you.
Wow.
And I'm just sad that you think that we just didn't have anyone else to come on. I mean, just like, wow. I'm sorry.
What you've done, Rhonda. Look what you've done. I voted for Joel Byers. So,
I know. I'm like, so Joel couldn't make it.
It's just no, he couldn't. Anyway, no. So.
Sorry, Joel. No, in all seriousness, Rhonda, you, the three of us, we have proven that you don't have to have one best friend. That you can. That truly, like in comedy, a lot of times women get the reputation of not supporting each other, not loving each other. Trying to steal work from each other constantly in comparison, and Laugh Support is all about being supportive of other comedians and the people who've been there, for us in our journey. And when we interview people, we ask who's been there for them. And it is really cool to think even if no one else is going to listen to the episode this week, we always know we're at least talking to one of our friends, because you have been very supportive. You really do listen to the episodes. You really do care about the success of our program. And you're somebody who I think definitely is the epitome of laugh support, because when you do comedy, it's not just about Rhonda Corey. You are constantly looking for moments and ways that you can pour into your friends as well. And that's huge. That's huge. So we're honored to have you on here. A great thing I think I'd love for you to talk about, speaking of bringing other people in, is your Funny Together tour. Like, tell us a little bit about that. I'm not sure if we've talked about it on here. Maybe we have, but it's if we did, it was probably in the inception. And so it's changing, evolving, growing. So tell us about Funny Together and about your upcoming show.
Sure. Okay. So Funny Together was started with the idea of, I wanted to have 100% clean show that I could offer to churches with really amazing comedians, so clean, quality entertainment.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing is that a church can host the Funny Together tour for free. I mean, that's crazy, especially with the level of talent on the shows that that I produce.
Yeah.
It's an amazing show, and it would cost some big dollars for a church to hire each of these comedians individually, never mind as a group, right?
Right.
So I wanted to make it affordable. You can't get any more affordable than that. I also wanted the show to be able to be used to not only entertain the church members, the people that frequent the church, but also reach out to the community surrounding the church so that others have an opportunity not just to see a great show, but to be introduced to a church setting that's not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to invite your relative, your friend, your neighbor, your coworker, where they're not going to feel any kind of pressure from the church. They're just going to feel loved on. And so I wanted that. I also, and I also felt God was really calling me to put this together, by the way. This just wasn't like, what would be great. I really felt, that this was something God was, putting on my heart. This also gives us an opportunity to work with amazing comedians, my friends, people that I want to sit down to dinner with afterwards and talk about the show. So it's a great way for us to work together, and and we're just getting going, and we're offering tickets at a reasonable price, and so it's just a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you said affordable price, like I was just looking up a comedian the other day, and $150 for tickets, $80 for tickets, right? And funny is funny, and people can actually come and see multiple comedians at affordable prices at a place where the church. I got to do one of these shows with you. Was it in Rhode Island or close?
You got to do the very first Funny Together show, the official first Funny Together show, which was actually June. You're so cute. I live in Rhode Island, and yes, it's small, but we did drive, right? We drove a couple hours or so. That was New Hampshire.
But see, Rhonda, in real life size states, you drive for 2 hours, you're still in that state. Ask people in Texas. Ask Kentucky. But I came into Rhode Island. We did the show together. What I thought was really cool is that you asked, like, who's from this church? And there were people from the church that were there having a great time and supporting the show. There were a ton of people that truly showed the community outreach that came from outside the walls of the church and came in and had a good time. The people who just commented about, like, man, this is really cool, and I've never been to a comedy show before. And they felt safe coming into the church because they knew that, they weren't going to be exposed to maybe some of the stuff they would at a different type of show. And that reached out to people in their community. Michele, you've done 2 now with Rhonda, is that right?
Yes. I did one in Oklahoma and then one in Missouri. And both times it was a great crowd and it was a great show. And what I love about your Funny Together tour is you have a collection of different comedians. I'm going to post a picture of them that you pick from there. So, like, depending on where you're going, you have different comedians doing different shows, and I love that because it's like your your tailor-made show kind of. I don't know how to, for your audience, for your area and stuff. I love that, and you're so easy to work with. I mean, okay, so you're really high demanding, but we'll tell you about that later. No, you're really you're really easy to work with, and it's wonderful to be able to come in and be a part of something that's bigger than just yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And like the one show in Missouri, what was amazing is when Rhonda asked, who is here from another, who's a guest. It was like 90% of the people,
Was
you know.
over 90% of the audience, which was insane.
Yeah.
We had a pretty packed house.
Yeah.
And over 90% of the audience was not from the church, which blew me away. And it just showed me how God works. And that was just so cool to see that. It really was. And that was a super fun show. And
Yeah.
it's true. I like to put together a show that's going to appeal. You might not like one of the comedians. It might not be your style, but there's two other comedians. I mean, I don't know how you can't. All the comedians are great on my show, but I'm just saying, like, there's always somebody that's more relatable to you.
Yeah.
And I like to have that variety so that, you are going to really like hit it with one of the comics is going to be like, oh my gosh, like they were speaking everything that I can relate to. And so, and that's what I want to create. I want to create that because I think one of the funniest things about comedy is it's, you can either relate to it or it's so bizarre that you can't.
Yes.
And you're going to laugh either way.
Yeah. So
I think one of the things that a lot of churches can relate to that you brought up just a little bit ago is the financial aspect of bringing something in for the church body and for outreach in their community is one of the biggest hangups is the finances of it. Churches are like, well, we don't have this in our budget, or we don't have that in our budget, or we really love to do that. But the cool part is with your shows, it is entirely free for the church. I mean, they're basically offering their facility and you are bringing in the comedians. And so I think that's a huge deal because not every church necessarily has it in their budget to do that. But when they hear about it, that's an exciting idea that the budget in their church doesn't limit them from being able to bring this in and have this event.
Yeah.
Right. And they can, they can do whatever they want. Like if they like, I know this one church, some churches provide water or, snacks or, because they do have, some money now that they can use and they don't have to. And it's the cool thing is it's so easy because really they're already set up for it. They don't have to do all this prep work. It's pretty much, do you have a sound system? You already have a sound system. Yeah. And so media, I mean, we just use the screen basically just to have, the comedian's information up on the screen. And so who the comedian is. And if you want to follow them, all their information is up. But I mean, so it's not like you have to work this huge PowerPoint, like you do with speakers or you do with worship. It's just like so simple for everyone. And all they have to do is just book it and, invite. And we do the rest pretty much. So it's very simple and it's just, I'll tell you, it is fun. It's fun for, right? Did you have fun, June? I had a blast.
Oh, I had so much fun. What's really cool is, again, one of your other skill sets is connecting people. You're very good at connecting people. And I got to go and do the show, met the comic that was on the show from your area was phenomenal. So funny. And then recently he came to Nashville. I got booked on a show and his name is Mike Murray. And Mike, when the guy called me about doing this show, he was like, yeah, I'm bringing in this guy from Rhode Island. And it was the same guy that I had just done a show with over the summer with you. We had a blast. It was just a great combination. You have such a great variety on your roster. And I like to point out too that there's a lot of female comedians that are on there. So you know, you do a lot of like date nights and outreach, but you also have enough that if there's somebody who's like, you know, we'd like to do a ladies' night and we want all female comics, you know, sometimes it's hard for people who are not in this industry to find clean comedians. And even if they do find clean, it is not necessarily people who are clean for the church clean. And you are, it's a completely safe situation. They can trust you and trust the people that you bring into their facilities.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, Michele, we actually ended up doing a theater as well as doing a church.
Yeah.
And the owner of the theater was blown away with just how, you know, it was just packed. It was packed with people that he had never seen before as well. And we really gave them such a great show. It was so fun. I mean, we have Michele, and I love Michele's humor, and she's just so funny. And you know, she's just a bright light on stage. And and we had David Pendleton, who is a ventriloquist. He's our ventriloquist that's actually on the show. And so that was just, and his wife Linda came with him, so we got to hang out with Linda too. So that was just such a fun time. It's a fun time for us. And I think when you're having fun, the audience has fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point. You know, you're there to give them an opportunity to laugh and have a good time. And so if you're berating the audience, or if you're like, well, not enough people showed up, you know, then that just makes them feel bad. But the beautiful thing is, Rhonda, so far your shows are like packed. So that's even better when you have more people close together, all laughing about the same thing, and not one person's pointed out, you know, like everyone's laughing, everyone's having a good time. It just heightens and makes it even better, and then better and better. And so by the time the night's over, you're exhausted. Your stomach hurts, you know, from laughing.
Good way to exercise those abs. That's the best ab workout ever, right?
And it's Whew.
It's definitely a good workout. Now you have Rhonda, we're so excited that you came on and you're helping us wrap up this last season, and this is going to air before you have some events coming up. So we know this weekend you have an event coming up, and then there's a Funny Together show that's coming up. So Michele, can you share some of those flyers? And Rhonda, you can talk about these events that you have coming up soon.
So this first one, there we go.
Okay, so there's a little story behind this one. So I was asked to do this Mother's Day show. And so, of course, you know, I had to be considerate and think of my son first, and make sure he didn't have anything extravagant planned. And guess what? He didn't. He had nothing planned at all. And he said, no, that's fine. And I said, oh, okay. I just wanted to check and make sure. And he said, yeah, no, you know, it's just another day. And so I was like, oh, really? You know, so giving birth to you and carrying you around for 9 months, it was just another day. Anyway, thought that was hysterical. But yeah, that's going to be really fun. I get to work with two talented women from Massachusetts area. Andrea Henry, who I love. She's just got this she's just very, she's got this dry, very smart sense of humor. Love her. And then Carolyn Plummer, who was actually on Talk is Cheap when I had my live stream show. I've never met her in person. I've never worked with her, but I have just heard just incredible things about her. And so I'm very excited to be able to work with Carolyn. So that's going to be a super fun show.
So you should thank Alex though, because he gave you your opening joke, right? Like he was pretending not to have anything for you, but really he just gave you a really great just another day punchline joke to open that show with. So
another day.
Yeah, raising boys. It's the gift that just keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You know, in his defense, we are going out on Friday night. So that's going to be nice. We have a Friday night date and I get to work. And I love doing comedy so much. Like, I'm actually very excited that I get to work. I mean, I don't know how many people say I get to work.
Yeah.
But that is just how I feel. I love it. I'm like, oh, if I'm not working, I'm sad. You know, not that I don't love spending time with my family. I mean, no, I would, of course I love it. No, I mean, like this last weekend, I didn't have anything. And, you know, I spent time with my husband and friends and we played games, which is something I love to do. But doing comedy is the best. Don't you agree, girls?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of the thing that I do before I go on stage now is I'll look at the other comics and go, we get to do this. And I'm not doing that like callously or flippantly, right? I really mean, like, even when I'm afraid, even when I'm tired, even, you know, whatever, I recognize that God has given this really unique thing, this unique skill set and ability to go out and just do comedy. We get to do that. And I don't think I'll ever get used to being able to get to do that.
So for our listeners, just so you know, what I posted up was for Mother's Day comedy brunch show. And that's going to be in Massachusetts. So Ryan Family Amusements. And if you're watching this, you can go ahead and scan that QR code to get yourself some tickets. Make sure that's for this coming Sunday, Mother's Day. So I just want to make sure I pointed that out because if they were just listening, they're like, what does this have to do with Alex? And it's just another day. It's Mother's Day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. If you're just listening, I forget that whole thing, you know, the whole, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're a kiddo, if you are raising boys, like all of us, none of us have a daughter. If you've raised boys, you can probably bet they don't have anything for you Sunday. So, or, you know, so go ahead and treat yourself to the show this Friday, right? And
that's right.
Or sorry,
Sunday.
This Sunday, I mean, go ahead and treat yourself to the show this Sunday. Just go and get your ticket. Let's just take care of us this time, okay?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're not going to, so don't get upset. Go to Rhonda Corey show. That's what I say.
Well, my kids are at the age now, and I'm at the age now where I'm like, you know what? I want some flowers planted, so I'm gonna need some muscle help here to dig and fix these things. Like that's where I'm at now. So I'm like, I don't need a gift. This is your gift. Manual labor.
Well, isn't that why we had children? I mean, I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
And then we realized, oh my gosh, they're millennials. So that was
whole different thing.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Now, Michelle, what else has she got coming up?
Okay, so there's a show in Texas. Is this one first?
That one's first. It's a clean comic tour. That is on Saturday, May 18th. It's at the Branch Church in Farmers Branch, Texas. And they're actually raising some money for scholarships for Branch Youth Camp. So that's a great thing. And if you want to get tickets for that, timthecleancomic.com. You can just get tickets right there. The show starts at 7 p.m. I'm on that show with Tim Ketchersid, Dory McLemore, and Brian Kahatsu. Get your tickets now. The early bird special's on. So I'm super excited about that because, you know, I've never worked together with Tim and Tim put that show together. I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
He's so good. You're going to absolutely love him. He's so good.
Yeah.
And then another one that you have coming up is a Funny Together tour.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Actually, so this one actually is the day before. This is the Friday, May 17th. This is at Emmaus Baptist Fellowship. That's in Longview, Texas. This is the Funny Together tour, and I'm with Dory McLemore and Brian Kahatsu. Oh, it's just going to be such a fun time. We've extended the early bird pricing, and there also is early bird group pricing, and so that's extended right now. There are still some tickets available, but you know there's limited seating on that show, so you do want to grab your tickets. You can go right to funnytogethertour.com and click on events, and you can get your tickets right there. You click on there and you can get your tickets. And so I am super excited about that show. It's going to be so fun. So, and I know everyone that's coming is getting a little gift. They have little gift bags. Yes, because they had a little budget and they don't need to use it, right? Because the Funny Together tour is absolutely free to churches. So they are going to gift bag the audience. So that's a fun show to go to if you're anywhere near Longview, Texas.
I think I might have to drive down there now because you get a gift and you get a joke and you get a gift and you get a joke and a joke and a joke and a gift and a gift and a gift. Like, this is your Oprah moment. This is exciting.
Nothing would make me more anxious than being somewhere where they were giving gifts away if my mother was with me, because she'd be like, I'm here, but my friend Julie wanted to come and she can't be here. So if you go ahead and give me an extra one of those, I'm going to give that extra gift bag to my friend Julie. And you know who'd love one of these? And she would walk away. People don't say no. They wouldn't say no to my mother. And she would leave with like 12 gift bags.
That's like, hilarious.
Stop. And she's like, hush, sissy, they're free. Like, no.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, Mom,
now,
no.
New England's a little different. Okay, because you're used to going to those southern places, right? So New England, no, you get one gift bag, sorry. Like, we do different around.
Yeah.
We're
do it a little different.
Not everywhere, but most.
See, and I'm from, where we had opened up the bag and go, oh, I don't like this. Can I trade?
Everything else.
What else you got?
This. Do you have? I don't use pencils. Do you have a pen?
Yes.
Or what'd you get in yours? Oh, yeah, you want to swap? Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, you got the Crackle candy bar. Do you have Good Bar? I love the Good Bar. I'll trade you my Crackle for my Good Bar. Yo, okay, so the funnygettogethertour.com. That's where they can get their tickets for that. Rhonda, you got some cool merch. Are you bringing that with you? You got some.
We have Funny Together Tour T-shirts with our new logo on them. And you know what I love about these T-shirts? It's not just the logo, which I think is really super cool, but is the shirts are so soft.
Yes.
And I love the fit of the shirt. I love the shirt. I'm super excited about how they came out and just, how comfortable they are to wear.
Nice. Well, was there anything else, Michelle, that you had that you were going to pop up real quick for Rhonda?
Well,
that's coming up?
I do know also then coming up, because we're all three of us are going to be attending the Christian Comedy Association in Indiana. But while you're there, I do know that you're going to be having this show, right?
Yes, we are. We have a few shows coming up. Actually, we have a showcase in Westfield, and we have. I'm going to be doing a show with Andy Beningo in Kokomo, but we are going to be closing out our week with Love and Laughter. It's for Love Inc., which is an amazing charity, and so it's going to benefit Boone County homeless, and there are tickets available now. That is going to be great. There's also like a meal deal for $5. You can get a hot dog meal if you go early at 5:30. So, but you know what? You can check out all of these on my Facebook page or my Instagram, which is Rhonda Corey Comedy. And so the flyers are all on there. So, make sure you go and check those out. And I am so excited that I get to hang out with you girls. Like, so happy.
I was actually on that last flyer for that show, and
yes,
mainly just because there's a hot dog deal, and we all know how important a hot dog is to me. So that's what we're gonna do. So Rhonda, okay, so this is the wrapping up of our 4th season. Just to put you on the spot, is there a favorite episode or something that you've enjoyed about the podcast this season, something you would like to see us do for next year, or a guest or someone that you would love to hear us interview?
Actually, one of my favorite episodes this year was the one of your recent ones with T.C. Stallings. Stallings. I'm like, wait, that's a tennis ball.
Yes. So close.
T.C.Stallings. It was just it was so, oh my gosh, in some ways like convicting, even just how he approaches his craft, and it was just so informative and so encouraging.
Yeah.
If people have not listened to that episode, please go back and listen to it. It was wonderful. I think I'm going to listen to it again.
Yeah.
No, but no. So that's, I have to say, that was my favorite episode.
Yeah, it was definitely packed full. We talked about that a little bit ago. It was packed full of great information. But yeah, sometimes you find yourself in the presence of somebody that just makes you want to do better, be better, inspires you to work harder, and to, to really wrap your brain around just our calling in life, and the expectations that our Father has for us, and also the gifts and the love and the help that he sends us on our journeys. And so, yeah, I think that was a super fun. I think that was a super fun episode. And we'll definitely, Michele, we're definitely going to keep the Rhonda Colson Corey moments coming up when our next season rolls around. I don't know. Anything else, Michele, that you think we should end this season with? What do you think?
Oh yeah. I want you to give your tip for this. What's your tip?
Go ahead and pop up what I said the tip's going to be. You always have to remind me. So the tip of the week is take some time. So we're wrapping up this season. We have this show in seasons for a reason. There's a reason for the season, right? And it's important, no matter what your job is, no matter what you do, whether you're an entertainer or whatever, is to take some time for yourself, take some time for reflection, take some time in the Word, and take some time to refuel. We are better at what we do. We are better for our family. We are better for our friends when we take some time to refresh. Even God rested. Even Jesus Christ stepped away and got some rest. And so that's what we're doing. That's why we're in these seasons. And so we're so grateful for everybody who does listen, who is encouraged by our show, who's entertained by our show, and encourages us like our friend Rhonda, and lets us know they're listening and that they're enjoying the show. And we hope that while we're resting, that you're resting, and maybe some of that rest is just, checking out and listening to some of our previous podcasts and just having a laugh and a little bit of information and being encouraged. So that is what we encourage you to do. Just take a little time, take a little break.
Yep. All right. So you can find us on Facebook at Laugh Support Podcast, Instagram and YouTube, the Laugh Support Podcast. You can also email us if you want. You got some ideas or jokes or guests that you want to hear from. Go ahead and email us at thelaughsup.com, and make sure that you're following Junebug on all of her socials. Where are they? They're everywhere.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all of that. It's all Junebug Comedy. You'll find me at Junebug Comedy.
And anyway, so we really want to say, thanks for tuning in. And
well, Michele, what about you?
What?
They could
follow
you, follow you too.
Yeah, you can follow me if you want. Just Michele's Comedy on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or MichelleVanDusen.org. It's 1L. As June talks about all the time, 1L, and it's true. I mean, when I became a Christian, it scared the hell out of me. So there you go. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And do you know why fish love to eat worms?
Rhonda, don't encourage her. Don't say why, Rhonda. Do not say why.
Why do fish like to eat worms?
Are they hooked on them?
Yes, they are. You win the prize. Thank you for ending this season. Thank you for listening.